and welcome to yet another podcast session on inspiring leaders and leadership by Advantage Club. So, my name is Smiti. I'm one of the founders of Advantage Club, which is an employee experience, reward recognition, community, and wellness building platform. So today we have another amazing person coming here, joining all the way from France. We have Marie, who is the HRBP of Emerson Automation Solutions with us here today. Welcome, Marie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rudy, for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I've been really excited to talk about my journey and what being an HR leader is for me today.
No, we love that. And we're looking forward to hearing more about it as well. So let's start with that. Let's start with the first question on letting us know a little bit about you, about your background, your journey. You've had many, many wonderful years of experience. So we'd love to understand how you got into HR, how your journey's been, and how you got into leadership positions eventually.
Okay, so how long do we have? Because there's so many things I can tell about my journey. So I think I'm going to go way back and talk about my times at high school. I had a chance to be tutored by a specific program by a student coming from a big business school called ESSEC in France. So to get into this program, basically they interviewed and selected candidates with a lot of ambition, good grades, but not the perfect environment to dream big, let's say. So during these 3 years, I thought about a project that I wanted to achieve, a plan. I wanted to have a plan, and I've decided to go to the UK, where I study sociology and politics. So I stayed there 3 years of my life. And it was really amazing. And why did I choose this program? Simply because I wanted to be impactful. I wanted to help others to change things. And then when I was younger, I was like, okay, to do that, I need to become a politician. That's what I thought when I was younger. So now I've grown. I don't think the same way that I used to. So basically, I'm going to go fast forward. I've been graduated in 2010 from Goldsmiths University, so I obtained a BA degree. After that, for family reasons, let's say, I went back to France, and I didn't really know what to do with that. So I failed a lot. I've tried things that was not successful, I can tell you, but I'm proud of this journey because it makes who I am today. I became an English trainer. I worked with a lot of people. I created my own company, and it was amazing. Being able to be creative, independent is who I am, is what I really love. After 6 years, I was like, hey, Marie, what can you do now? What do you like to do? So it was the same. I love people in general. I love helping. I love being impactful. I wanted to help, as I told you. So I thought about being a recruiter. So I became a recruiter, and I think it was from 2016 to 2020. COVID-19 happened. You know the story after that. I changed my plan. Being a recruiter was great. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed, working on deadlines, working with changing goals. By the end, I was like, okay, I need something even more challenging, and I need to earn more money. I want to be honest with you. So I went back to school. I attended a master degree, distance learning in HR management, organization, and change management that I obtained, and I'm really, really happy. A company called Emerson called me, and it was to replace a person in maternity leave. So I was supposed to stay 6 months there, but after a few weeks, I was like, this is the company where I want to work in. I want to stay there for a long time. I want to be impactful. I want to do many things in the company, and that's who I am. That's why I became an entrepreneur before. I love challenges. That's why I went to London on my own when I was younger with no financial aid from my family. I want to do something that step me outside of my comfort zone. So that's what I've done. So 6 months at Emerson to replace a colleague. And I was like, okay, they don't know, but I will stay. I will be hired. So I did everything in my power to be performant, to network with people, and to stay. And today I'm so happy to tell you that I've been hired as a permanent employee. So I'm working as an HR business partner, and it's always difficult to say what being a HR business partner is. I do so many things. So basically, I deal with everything that can happen in an employee's life, from the first day to a potential last day. And I support employees, the leadership team also, and that's what I love to do. So that's what I'm doing today at Emerson.
Now that's amazing. And also tell us a little bit about, I mean, you've been in the industry for what, 16 years, and you also created your own company. So let's talk about that. What was the genesis of the idea, and what was the point you decided to, move on and get back to the corporate job life?
Sure. So I think it's because of thanks to the family that I have. I love to follow my dreams. I love to think big and achieve big goals. So I didn't really I didn't have a plan when I was younger, but I just wanted to try things that I've enjoyed. So that's what basically I've done. And why did I decide to create my own company? Because being independent is something that I really love. I want to be creative. I want to be able to say no to some clients. I want to be able to go on certain path because I want to do it. I love this. In the creativity, I think, is the first thing that really dragged me to being an entrepreneur. And so I think that you can work in a corporate, you can have a corporate job and still be kind of an entrepreneur. And that's what I'm doing right now. It then says that I have my HR missions that I really, really love. But beside that, I'm passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I do so many things in that topic. You probably know about ERGs. So I'm the leader of an ERG that deals with disability. And something that is important to me. I belong to many ERGs, LGBT, Black Alliance, which deals with Black employees. So it's something that I really love. We live in a diverse world, and I don't even understand why people don't understand the value of diversity today. How diversity can foster performance, well-being, and so many positive things. And today, as a recruiter, as an HR BP, when I recruit, people ask me about diversity. People ask me about environment. So I think since COVID-19, things have slightly changed. Candidates, they want to have a job that makes sense to their own values and aspirations. And that's why I think, everything is changing right now, and we need to catch the train.
No, absolutely. And, I think the overall, from a worldwide perspective, organizations have become more sensitive around the fact that they need to add more DEI initiatives in the organizations, and especially post-COVID, when the world has come together, right? So there are no boundaries anymore. Earlier, it used to be, okay, so if you're in France, you only interact with people or employees or colleagues in France, but you don't necessarily talk to your colleagues in, say, UK or US or anywhere else. But today, everyone is like together, right? So you're talking to people across the world. I think kind of putting focus on diversity should be the need of the hour today, because it matters more today than it did maybe earlier.
For sure.
So that's amazing. And I think I also want to kind of follow on that question with, of course, your journey has been very interesting, right? So you've done a bunch of things. You've delved in entrepreneurship. You've moved from, you've done recruitment. You're doing HRBP. You've done a lot of things, right? So it must not have been easy to do so many things and to walk so many paths in such a short period of time. So tell us a little bit about some examples of challenges or failures which you've learned from, which you'd like to share with the audience.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I love challenges. I love the struggles. I love when things are not easy. And I can tell you, I've been through a lot personally and professionally. And it might sound a bit cheesy, but I always learn from all those experiences. When I think about failures, I simply think about the fact that maybe sometime I was not I was not trusting myself. I didn't have enough self-confidence. I thought I was not able to achieve certain type of things. So I worked 4 years, I think, as a recruiter. And during those 4 years, I wanted more. I wanted to dream big, but I didn't have a plan. So that's why sometimes I don't talk about dreams. I talk about goals. And when I want to achieve goals, I set a plan and I do everything in my power to reach that goal. So I think that will be the only failure. The big failure in my journey is not trusting myself, not having self-confidence. As a woman, sometimes you think about, you think that you're not capable enough, the imposter syndrome. Why I'm here? Can I go beyond? Can I do more? And that's what now I know I'm ready to do more, and I know I want to achieve big things.
I love that. And I love how, you've done that twist on, not really calling it a failure, but a learning opportunity. And I think the more we think in that direction, the more successful it makes us, because we stop looking at challenges as problems, whereas we start looking at them as good things which are happening in our life to help us grow.
Opportunities, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, who has been like your biggest supporter or your biggest mentor over the course of your career?
Yeah. So I think I might sound weird because I would say I am my biggest supporter. I deeply believe in myself now. I built a strong self-confidence and ambition. That's why I'm not talking about dreams anymore, but goals, and I set plans. I'm really good at setting plans, career plans. I know where I want to go, and I know how to ask help to people that could be really above me in the hierarchy to help me achieve my goals. And now I know I have the capacity to open doors that are closed. And if the doors are closed, I know I have the capacity to go through the window because I want to achieve these goals. So I would say I am my biggest supporter, but I want to be humble. I also have a great family that also support me. And I think that's the thing that helped me go, go beyond, let's say. And when you talk about having a mentor, so I have mentors who help me in my career. And I think every employee should have at least one mentor. You can talk freely about anything, could be your personal life or issues that you face at work. They can help you in your career plan. And without a mentor, I think it would be hard for me to grow in the company. Also, there are people that don't know they are my mentor, but they are my mentors. For instance, I think about inspiring women. Usually it's women, I have to say, that they have very challenging job, very important in an organization, and I think they are my mentors also. And especially when I see Black women, we don't really talk about skin color in France because it's really taboo. But when I see in an organization Black females that succeed, I'm like, okay, that's amazing. I'm saying, wow, I want to do the same. I want to achieve big things. I realize I said that a lot, but that's what I really feel, and that's what I want to do. And I think people are inspiring just because who they are or what they do, even if we don't really talk to each other, but what they do is really inspiring. And I have many examples of Black inspiring leaders today.
That's great, and I think you're bang on right on the fact that women need to inspire more women, because we're already less of us, and we need the less of us supporting the other less of us, right? So I think it's important for women to inspire each other, pull up each other, and help each other grow. And what I loved most was that you should be your own biggest supporter. I've rarely heard anyone say that, but that's the real truth of life, right? If you don't support yourself the most, how can you expect the world to support you? So, yeah, so it's like when you're in the flight, the flight attendant says that you put your own oxygen masks first before helping somebody else. Yeah, you gotta give yourself the oxygen first. So, I love that.
Yeah, great. So that's my vision. Yeah.
No, amazing.
Doesn't mean that I'm going to achieve big things on my own. Of course, I need others. I mean, I don't want to do everything alone, but I need to support myself, and I need to know where I want to go. I think that's really important.
Very true, very true. So when we talk about leadership in general, what would you recommend are the steps which HR leaders should take to address the changing needs of employees, because today employee needs are constantly changing, right? So what used to work pre-COVID does not work today anymore. And um, you've been in very diverse roles, you've managed different types of employees. So what would you recommend as steps HR leaders to take to address those constantly changing needs?
Yeah. So indeed, it's not easy. Being an HR professional is not easy. And I think the most important thing and the first thing would be to be close to the employees you're working with. I know some people will not agree with that, and I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but in France, usually there's employees on the side and HR professional on another one. And, they don't meet really. And I think that's the most important thing, being close to people. I know I've been criticized for being close to people, but for me, I can't even imagine being an HR without knowing and being close to people I'm working with, and I'm seeing every single day. In the company I'm working in today, we have the chance to be able to sit down wherever we want in the building. It's really very flexible. So every day I sit with different people, maybe for an hour, maybe for 2 hours, maybe for the whole day, it depends. But for me, it's important to know and to interact with people you're working with. And so that would be the first thing. And that's really my vision of what being an HR is today. The second thing, when you get to know them, I would say understand their needs and their ambition. You need to create safe places where they can speak freely about what they want to do, their aspirations. You need to challenge them also. And yeah, I think HRs, not only HRs, of course, the leaders of the company, of course, managers have a role to play, but we need to, foster a positive company culture where people feel safe to be able to talk about what they want and what they need. And I think if there is a third step, it would be to help them, to support them and engage them. I know people in other companies who applied internally to position because they want to leave their current job. I want people who are passionate about different topics, but their managers, they don't support them. They don't care about what they want to do. They don't care about their aspirations. I mean, when an employee tells you that he wants to leave his current job, what do? Are you going to wait and count on his loyalty to the company? Of course, this is not working. And I've seen people being really engaged and who love a company, who left simply because there were no possibility to grow in the company. So I think that's something that's really important. Know people, support them, and recognize them, of course. So when you engaged in a company, you want to do more, you're passionate about a lot of things, and as a manager, as an HR leader, I think you should recognize those talents. And that's why I talk about retention. It's not only when I talk about recognition, it's not only a compensation. Because I've seen people leaving a company for a lower salary, lower income. So recognize what they do, and putting in place a program of recognition, of on-play recognition, something that we all feel great when people recognize that we did something great. And it's logical. So I don't even understand why people don't understand that it's a major challenge today to support the employees and to recognize their effort and work. And globally speaking, we should create, as I told you, a safe place where people feel great. And the employee experience is something that every HR leader should deal with today. Employee experience. How do you feel in the company? What do you want to do? How can I help you? As an employee, we spend more time with our colleagues than with our family. So me personally, I want to feel great in the company. I want to feel listened to, and I want my manager to help me grow in the company. That's how my expectations. So I guess others have similar expectations.
No, that's amazing. And and you're absolutely right when you say that, recognizing people, supporting them is really key to retaining them, and eventually one of the main factors for driving a better employee experience. And what I also loved is the ideology of going and sitting with different people every day. That's really interesting because you know, as a person in HR, you have the flexibility to do that, but not a lot of people utilize that privilege to actually go and sit with different groups every day. And not every group thinks the same, right? So you really understand challenges in every area,
Exactly.
in every department, in every part of the office, and that's really interesting
Yeah.
to.
You know, when I talk about knowing the people you're working with, I mean, as an HR, of course, we know everybody. We have statistics, we have different data, but this is not knowing somebody. When I talk about being able to know people you're working with, is really to take time, chat about their family, their cats, no matter what, but their dreams also could be outside of the company. But that's the HR I am today. That's what I want to do, really.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and I think that's like some really good advice. One, you know, really talk and sit with people who you are managing. Second, you know, as a manager, it's your job to support your team members, to help them grow, and eventually retain them. And most importantly, recognize, because the more recognition you drive in the organization, it works magic, and you know, salary just can't match that.
Definitely.
So great. And that also brings us to the end of the podcast. And thank you so much, Marie, for your time. It was really, really lovely interacting with you.
Oh, likewise, I'm happy to be here, really.
Yeah, and I'm sure our viewers would love this podcast, and you know, all the thoughts you put forward.
So to conclude, I would say I would give advice to HR leaders tomorrow and females HR leaders also. So stop fearing having big and challenging dreams, having exciting goals. Making mistakes is not the end of the world. I know in France, I talk a lot about France because it's what I know. In France, you know, when you make mistakes, it's really negative. People put you in a specific box, like, okay, this person is a failure. So if you fail once, it's complicated that people would get, you know, maybe suspicious and won't trust you. So who cares? Try, fail, you know, adjust, and then try again. That's what I want to do. Be humble, be flexible, be a life learner. You can learn from others. Could be a VP, could be an individual contributor, could be a manager. You can learn from everyone. So be humble enough to know that, and listen to all voices equally, not only the people that looks like you or that work like you. And yeah, being a leader, an HR leader, is also being supportive, is being inspiring, is being authentic, and in a sense, a role model. And that's what I would say. That's the advice I would give.
Yeah, that's great advice, and I think you know, humility goes a long way, and of course, connecting with people. That's one of the core jobs in HR, which I think has gotten lost over time. So it's really, really important to revive
Yeah.
that, talk more to
Yes,
people.
sometimes I hear employee you told me would tell me, sorry, yeah, in human resources is the word human.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's why we need to care about people.
and that's amazing. Great, thank you so much, Marie, for your time today. I loved interacting with you, and I'm sure
Yeah,
I.
it was amazing. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.